Well, we finally have all the opening weekend numbers for the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it has smashed expectations along with records that most were set by Disney, but we're going to go over them in a minute. The final total here on Monday after the holiday weekend. Now, it did open a day earlier than most movies. It opened on Wednesday. Most movies usually have their preview day on Thursday. But, hey, Illumination and Universal, they knew what the hell they were doing. $377 million total. That includes $204 million domestic and $173 million international, for the grand total of $377 million, almost $378 million. And this movie is going to have legs. It's not going to see a drop off. This was a holiday weekend. Many people didn't get a chance to go to the movies because they were doing stuff with family. So they're going to wait till next weekend. A lot of people don't go to the movies on opening weekend. They wait until the following weekend so they can hear something about the movie to see if it's even something that they would want to go see. And yeah, it definitely is. Not according to the critics, honestly. The critics are still giving it a 56%, but that's because they don't like Chris Pratt, because he's a Christian and his values don't align with their values. He doesn't give in to the pressure for wanting to spout identity politics and trans rights and all that other stuff that the critics are interested in seeing in movies nowadays, which, by the way, this movie has none of. This movie is completely safe to take your children to. They don't talk about any kind of woke ideology. They don't talk about any intersectional feminism. They don't talk about any homosexual stuff. Nothing. Nothing like that in this movie. It's just pure entertainment and no woke. No woke in this entire movie. Now, let's take a look at some of the records that this movie has smashed. Okay, domestically, has the highest grossing debut of 2023, surpassing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's not saying much because that movie completely bombed. Biggest 5-day Wednesday through Sunday opening of all time, overtaking 2009 Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Note this stat is specifically for movies that open on a Wednesday. So, is nowhere near the biggest opening weekend in general, but that still belongs to Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Infinity War. So it didn't break those records. Highest grossing debut for Illumination, beating 2015's Minions. Second biggest debut ever for an animated movie, outpacing Finding Dory. So it beat that Disney movie. And its 3-day opening weekend of $135 million, following Incredibles 2 and its 3-day debut of $183 million. So Incredibles 2, it was a highly anticipated movie, even though it was nowhere near as good as the first one. It didn't quite break that record, but it beat Finding Dory for its 3-day opening. Highest grossing debut for a video game adaptation, outranking Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Internationally, biggest opening of 2023, once again ahead of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Second biggest animated opening of all time, behind Frozen 2. Biggest Illumination opening of all time, and biggest video game opening of all time. And then globally, biggest opening of 2023, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania again. Highest Illumination opening of all time, passing Despicable Me 2. Biggest video game opening of all time, passing Warcraft. And highest animated opening weekend ever for IMAX with $21.6 million. So it broke a lot of records. I believe it's going to keep breaking records. I see no reason that this movie won't surpass $1 billion. And they're already talking about a Mario cinematic universe, or Nintendo. Actually, it's more of a Nintendo cinematic universe where they'll have spin-offs for Donkey Kong. They'll have more movies for Mario. Maybe make a Star Fox movie. Maybe make a Kirby or a Yoshi or something like that. They're talking about this, and all I can see is legs now for Nintendo. It's just going to keep moving forward because, number one, people love Nintendo. People have loved Nintendo since Nintendo was a thing back in 1981 when Donkey Kong was released. And there are so many properties that Nintendo owns and so many characters that Nintendo owns and are so beloved by its fans that I see no reason why they wouldn't make some kind of cinematic universe. And they can have crossovers, you know, they can show Mario appearing in certain things, and they can show Donkey Kong appearing in certain things, and Star Fox appearing in certain things. There's really no reason for not being able to do any of that. And I'm sure that this movie is going to end up having a sequel because there's been many, many sequels to Mario games throughout the years. There's no reason to not make a sequel for this movie. So Illumination, they know what they did. They knew what they were doing. They did it. They got it right. They obviously got it right. And now we can see that Disney has been full of shit this whole time saying, well, families just don't want to go to the movies anymore. They're worried about COVID. They're worried about the restrictions. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your message, with the message that you are trying to convey and the grooming that you're trying to do to our children. And it has everything to do with entertainment as far as Super Mario Brothers being the one of the highest grossing video game movies of all time. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you next time.